Good morning, my dear students and listeners. Today, new theme about Uzbek traditions. Let's begin our English lesson. The main feature of the Uzbek family is traditionally reverential respect for elders. Uzbeks usually live in large families consisting of several generations, therefore preference is given to a large house on the land. Significant place in family life as element of the hospitality is tea ceremony. Moreover, tea making and pouring it to the guests is exclusive prerogative of the host. It is common to receive invitations to a lunch or dinner and be on time. When planning a visit, it is advisable to take souvenir or sweets for children of the owner of the house. Writers of Uzbek people have formed over the centuries as a result of a complex of merging cultural habits and traditions of all tribes and nations that participated in the ontogenesis of the Uzbeks. They are quite original, bright, and varied, and go back to the tribal patriarch relations. A large number of ceremonies follow the family life and associated with the birth and upbringing of the child, wedding and funerals. Wedding ceremony traditional plays essential role in Uzbek's life and celebrates as an important event. In the presence of common features, this ceremony has its own characteristics, different areas. The highlight of wedding cycle is the transitions of the bride from her parents' house to the groom's house. On the day of the wedding, in the house of the bride, arranged wedding pilaf, which is prepared in the house of the groom and then sent to the bride. The sample of ceremony serving in the house of the groom. Cradle wedding, a ritual celebration related to the first putting the baby in the cradle. This is one of the most ancient and widespread traditional ceremony in Uzbekistan. Typically, such event is held on 7th, 9th, and 11th day of the birth of the baby. In various regions, ritual has its own differences and depends on the family's income. The rich families usually celebrate this event extensively, and families with low income celebrate it modestly. Nowruz, ancient popular holiday. Nowruz celebrated on March 21st, the day of vernal equinox. It is celebration of nature awakening and beginning of planting, preserved in its rituals of Zoroastrianism. In the agricultural houses of ancient Uzbekistan were held every spring the big festivals, holidays, bazaars. According to traditions, even today people bake borsak and prepare the ritual meal sumariak. Next, clothes. The originality of clothing of indigenous peoples has always been determined by climatic living conditions and tribal traditions. Back in the 19th century, clothing continued to keep the archaic features a wide long. It freely flows down, hiding the shape of the human body. Headdress, skull cap. One of the most popular and widespread forms of applied art of Uzbekistan has always been a skull cap, hard or soft cap with lining. Skull cap is an integral part of Uzbek national costume, come into the life and traditions of Uzbek people. Skull cap is the national headdress not only Uzbeks but also other Central Asian nations. Skull caps are classified by types: men's, women's, children's, for old people. Musical styles of Uzbek dastans. In Uzbekistan, epic poems and stories are represented by the dastans genre. Dastan means story, tale, honor, adventure, and includes both poetry and prose, accompanied by music. The most popular dastans are ancient ones based on centuries-old traditions, often personalized by their performers. They express national themes and aspirations, heroic struggles for the homeland or freedom, the rescue. Next, Uzbek music instruments. The world of instrumental culture of Uzbekistan is extremely rich and diverse. The first date regarding musical instruments belongs to ancient times. Evidence of this is given by archaeological excavations in the territory of Uzbekistan. The first sample of a musical instrument was a longitudinal pipe knife found on the territory of Uzbekistan. Uzbek traditional food. Food in Uzbekistan is a way of life. The way Uzbek people treat cooking is the subject of careful study. Even the most scrupulous research will not help to identify trends, rules, and even more laws. There is recipes on emotions with a lot of nuances and requirements for the dish. The Uzbeks are very hospitable and careful people. They are happy to serve the guests with dishes prepared by their distant ancestors. The food of Uzbek cuisine is open to the influence of other cultures, but each borrowed dish is prepared in its own Uzbek way. Sumalyak is a dish cooked exclusively for spring festival of Nowruz and thus available for tasting only once a year. Sumalak is very tasty, invigorating, and restores one's strength lost in the course of the winter. Next, thank you for your attention. Goodbye, my dear students and listeners.